Welcome back to the Deep Dive. If you've been with us, you know we're journeying through Dante's Divine Comedy, always searching for those bits of wisdom that, well, still resonate today.
And if you're just joining us, welcome. This is actually our 53rd deep dive. We're exploring how Dante's epic poem can shed light on our own life journeys.
And today, we're zoning in on the 19th canto of Purgatory.
Exactly. The goal is to pull out some, useful lessons about navigating temptations, those earthly desires we all grapple with. We're using the canto text itself, and we'll quickly touch on where Dante was just before this.
Okay, so setting the scene. Dante's moving up Mount Purgatory. He's past the lower levels dealing with distorted love. And now he's approaching the upper terraces. These focus on sins related to, let's say, love aimed at the wrong things, avarice, gluttony, lust. It's all part of this purification process.
The shedding of baggage, really, and it kicks off almost immediately with a pretty striking dream Dante has.
Oh, yeah. It's quite something. He dreams of this woman. At first, she seems, well, deformed, almost broken.
Right.
But as Dante looks at her, she kind of transforms into this incredibly beautiful, seductive siren. She starts singing, even bragging about how she managed to lure Ulysses off course.
That mention of Ulysses is so potent, isn't it?
It really is.
It immediately flags up this theme of being led astray, diverted from where you're meant to be going by something, well, captivating on the surface.
Exactly. But then, just as Dante is totally mesmerized, another figure appears, a holy woman.
Okay.
She comes in and basically tells Virgil to expose the siren. And Virgil does, he rips her clothes open, revealing this foul reality underneath, a really disgusting stomach, the text says. And the stench wakes Dante up.
Wow. Talk about a reality check.
Right. A pretty abrupt awakening.
And the symbolism there is just packed, isn't it? The siren is pretty clearly representing worldly temptations. The text links her specifically to avarice, gluttony, and lust, precisely the sins dealt with on these next terraces.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How often the things that tempt us most might actually be, well, quite repulsive underneath that initial allure.
And here's a little something for those who've been following our journey through the Inferno as well.
Ah, yes.
Doesn't this siren feel a bit familiar? It strongly echoes those three beasts Dante met way back at the start of the Inferno, especially the she-wolf.
Who often symbolizes avarice,
Yeah.
right. That's a great catch.
It's like he's facing similar core issues, but now in a different context. Purification, ascent, not damnation, suggests these struggles are persistent. They just change shape as we grow.
That's a really insightful parallel. It shows how deep-rooted these weaknesses can be, and that holy woman figure is crucial too.
Right. Who is she meant to be?
Well, interpretations vary, as they often do with Dante. Some see her as Beatrice, representing divine love and revelation. Others see her more as reason enlightened by grace.
So some kind of higher insight or guidance. Exactly. Whatever the specific identity, she represents that essential clarity, that help we need, maybe internal, maybe external, to see through illusions. Without that, it's easy to get hooked by the superficial charm.
Okay, so let's bring this home. What's the practical lesson, the takeaway for us today from this dream?
I think the core lesson really is about the danger of false appearances.
Okay.
That transformation of the siren from broken to beautiful, but ultimately hollow and foul. It's a powerful warning. We need to look beyond the immediate appeal of things in our own lives.
So questioning that initial attraction.
Precisely. Is this truly valuable or just attractively packaged? Think about it. Ambitions, relationships, possessions. How often do we chase something shiny only to find it empty or even harmful later on? It's a call for discernment, for looking deeper.
Looking beyond the surface. That's a big one. Okay, so Dante wakes up, presumably a bit shaken. What happens next?
He just gets on with it. He continues the climb with Virgil. We learn it's dawn on their third day on the mountain. And soon they meet an angel who points the way to the fifth terrace. And importantly, the angel wipes another P, representing one of the 7 deadly sins, peccati, from Dante's forehead.
Ah, so another step in his purification is complete. Tangible progress.
Exactly. And that path leads them to the fifth terrace itself.
And what's the scene there? Who do they find?
They find the souls purging the sin of avarice, and the image is powerful. They're all lying face down on the ground, prostrate.
Face down.
Yes, bound and weeping, reciting a line from the Psalms. My soul clings to the dust. Adhizit pavimento anima mea. It's this potent image of how their attachment to earthly things now pins them down, binds them in sorrow. Makes you reflect on what we might be clinging to, doesn't it?
It certainly does. And amongst these souls, Dante spots someone he knows.
He does. It turns out to be Pope Adrian the Ottabuono de Fieschi, historically.
A pope. Down there for avarice.
Well, Adrian explains his story. He says he only truly understood the vanity of earthly power and wealth after becoming pope. That realization, that conversion away from avarice came very late for him.
And there's that moment where Dante, instinctively kneels down out of respect for the papal office.
Right, it's a reflex. But Adrian immediately tells him to stand up.
What does he say?
He basically says, "Why are you kneeling?" He explains that in this realm, those earthly hierarchies mean nothing. They're all fellow servants of the one master, God.
Wow. That strips away all the pretense, doesn't it?
Completely. It's a profound lesson in humility, I think.
So takeaway number 2 might be about humility before the truth. That earthly status just dissolves in the face of these bigger realities.
I think that's perfectly put. Those distinctions we make, the status we chase, it all becomes irrelevant when you're dealing with fundamental spiritual truths. We're all on a similar journey, fundamentally.
And there was a little detail mentioned about Adrian V's actual papacy.
Ah, yes, a bit of historical context. His time as pope was incredibly short. Just 38 days back in 1276. It's almost like a footnote, but it powerfully underscores the point about how fleeting earthly power really is.
So, lesson 3, the brevity of earthly power. A stark reminder not to invest everything in things that are inherently temporary status, possessions.
Exactly. They just don't last, which connects back to the avarice being purged here.
And Adrian's story offers something else too, doesn't it? Something more hopeful.
Absolutely. It offers a powerful lesson about repentance. Here's someone who reached the absolute pinnacle of earthly status, yet he recognized his failings regarding avarice and turned towards something more meaningful, even late in life.
So it's never too late.
That seems to be the message. Lesson 4, perhaps. Repentance and change are always possible. No matter how far down a certain path you've gone or what position you hold, you can still reassess and choose a more authentic way.
That's quite encouraging. Now, thinking back just before this canto, Dante was on the 4th terrace.
Ah, yes, with the slothful.
Right. Our notes remind us they were actively running, pushing themselves to overcome that spiritual laziness. How does that connect to what we've just seen with the siren and the avaricious?
Well, it highlights the ongoing nature of the journey, doesn't it? It's a continuous process of confronting and overcoming different obstacles.
First inertia, now temptation and attachment.
Exactly. The slothful were fighting inner resistance, the avaricious are confronting attachment to externals, and the siren represents those misleading external lures. It all ties together. And remember, that 4th terrace was described as a sort of midpoint, where themes of love's nature and free will were central.
Right.
It suggests this constant balancing act we all perform, managing our passions, using our reason, navigating the world. Each terrace adds another layer to understanding how to do that better.
Okay, so let's try and wrap up the main insights from Canto 19. We've got the danger of false appearances needing to look deeper.
Definitely. And the need for clear guidance, that holy woman, whether internal reason or external wisdom, to see through those illusions.
Then Pope Adrian V showed us that humility that comes from recognizing our shared state beyond earthly titles.
And the fleeting nature of that earthly power and status.
Plus, the really important point that change and repentance are always possible.
Crucial takeaways. Which leads us, I think, to a final thought for you listening at home.
Go on.
Consider the sirens in your own life. What things seem incredibly attractive on the surface but might be masking something less desirable, something hollow maybe.
That's a challenging question.
And then how can you cultivate your own inner holy woman? That clarity, that reason, that connection to deeper values to help you see more clearly on your own journey.
Something to really chew on there. Some powerful reflections from just one canto.
Dante always delivers.
He certainly does. Well, thank you for joining us on this, our 53rd deep dive into Dante's world. We hope you found it insightful.
We look forward to exploring further with you next time.